All right. Special treat for everybody today. This is Dr. CJ Benkert with Buddha Be the Wellness, where I love to inspire and teach and educate as many people as I can to have optimal health in mind, body, heart, and spirit. And I have a perfect example of someone here, David, who went through our 3-month cellular healing program. And I just wanted the opportunity, and he was so kind to oblige to share his story so that you can see what's possible for you in your life. David, you want to start with introductions, whatever you'd like to share, and then I can interject as we go.
Sure. Yeah. So, like you said, David Wright. I live in Long Beach. Been in Long Beach now going on 11 years. Originally from Dallas, Texas, though. So, still Dallas, Texas at heart. But yeah, settled here in Long Beach now and have one daughter that is 14.
Awesome. Blessing.
Yes. That it is.
So when did we meet and how did we meet and why did we meet, do you think?
Good question. So I'll start with the why because it's still important to me. So I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes over 15 years ago. Don't know if you want me to touch on the story and how it happened, but
Yeah, that would be awesome.
yeah, it's a pretty dramatic story that every time I tell anybody, they're shocked. But I didn't have any, history of diabetes. I mean, I knew about it, but never paid attention to it because at the time nobody in the family had it or whatever. So it was never on my radar. I was traveling for work a lot at the time. And so one of my trips, I was back home in Dallas, stayed a few extra days, to hang with the family after work. And I just started getting sick, but it felt like the flu. And the only, like, after thinking about it, the main symptom that, I should have paid attention to, but wasn't thinking about it was I was thirsty a lot. And I was like, why can't I quench this thirst? But it wasn't registering. So what was I doing? I was making it worse. I was obviously, being from Texas, at this time there was no Sonic in Southern California. So Sonic was one of my favorite places to get slushies and things of that
And
nature.
soda.
Yeah, all their lovely fruity, sugary drinks. And so literally that's what I was doing every day was getting the big 44 ounce
Wow.
every
Because you were
day.
so thirsty.
Yes, I was so thirsty, not realizing what was happening. And still at the time didn't really know what it was, but outside of the thirst, it was really just it really felt like the flu is what it felt like. So it was a Sunday travel day back. I had tickets to a play at the Pasadena Playhouse. Didn't want to waste them. I really wanted to go to this play, so I mustered up energy and I still went. Me and one of my friends, and I was just super tired, but I got through it. Got home, went to sleep, and then I didn't wake up the next morning until after 10 a.m. Slept through my alarm, everything. At that time, I was working in an office about 2 days a week. And I was like, oh, I'm late for work. So I called my boss, like, hey, I'll be in later. But then when I tried to get up from the bed, that's when I knew something was wrong. And it was, I couldn't walk straight, blurred vision. And I literally had to go to the bathroom every 20, 30 seconds. And
I
so
don't think you ever told me this story.
I told you part of it, but yeah, this
Okay.
is like the full details of how it started and all of that. Um, and from there, it just escalated. Um, I knew something was wrong. Like I said, I couldn't walk straight, had blurred vision. I was freaking out. So I called one of my friends who happened to work down the street from me, and I was like, "Hey, I think I need to go to the hospital." I knew I couldn't drive, so he was like, "I'll be right over." And then this is where, to this day, over 15 years later, it's still all fuzzy because I
Mm.
don't remember stuff. That's how much it affected me. But he came over. I was in a townhome at the time with a lot of stairs. I remember he had to help me down the stairs. His car was down the street. He's like, leaned me up against a light pole or something, and literally that's all I remember. By the
Wow, I
time
think
I
I
woke
remember
up,
that part.
yeah, I was in the ER uh, at the hospital in Inglewood at the Tommy Lasorda Heart Institute. And to this day, couldn't tell you how I got there, what happened. All I remember, I was arguing with the doctors about why I wasn't taking my medication, and that they're like, "You're diabetic." I'm like, "No, I'm not," because I wasn't. Right?
They were like, "Why aren't you taking your medication? That's
Yep.
why you ended up in here."
Yep. So the real important part of the story is how drastic my diabetes got. And I mean, honestly, to this day, I shouldn't be here talking to you today, is what I was literally told by multiple doctors. I was fortunate of where I was at because, they had the Tommy Lasorda Heart Institute. So I got a lot of attention, a lot of help, fortunate for those doctors and nurses there. But
Hmm.
they said that they had to use four different machines to get a reading of my blood sugar level. And and this was over a few hours of time as well. But by the time they finally got a reading, my blood sugar level was 1,050. And if anybody
Even.
knows what is normal, it's 80 to 120, is what they say. I was
Yeah.
1,050.
And I don't think I've ever heard of anybody coming to me and telling me a story like this that was higher than maybe 300, 350.
Wow.
A
Yeah.
thousand.
Yeah. And again, it was way higher than that. They still to this day don't know how high it
It
was
is
because
an absolute miracle that you're alive because the body
yeah,
cannot live with sugars that high. It's that
right.
critical.
Yep.
Wow. God has a purpose for you.
Yep. That's what they said. So I became a test case. I became the guinea pig. It was, it's a learning hospital, teaching hospital. So there was doctors from all over Southern California that came because I was in ICU for over a week, because they couldn't believe that this guy was alive.
Wow. And that was 15 years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then what happened from then until you found
So
us?
from yeah, so from then to now, I maintained. Obviously, from the very beginning, I had went through, some nutrition programs because I was always of the mindset I wanted to be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah.
Never wanted to take medicine, never wanted to be on insulin. I was deathly terrified of needles, so it just was not working for me. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the the first day I went home from the hospital, I couldn't even give myself the shot.
Oh
My hand was
no.
shaking like this
That's how I
because
would be too.
I couldn't do it. So I've always been searching, but and I went through multiple doctors over the years. Um, And then kind of fast forward, to now. I mean, well, kind of take a step back. I was at the time I was on, I think, 10 different medications at the time because they were super worried about my organs still failing because
Yeah.
they still can't pinpoint how high my sugar was and how
Yeah.
long I had that much sugar going through my body. Um, so I was on so much stuff that was taking care of my heart, my liver, my kidneys. Um, but they were like, your organs are still good. Like we can't figure it out, but
Never seen
and
this before. They've never seen a reading that high, I bet.
no, no, not
Never.
at all. I'm still in the record books there.
Yeah.
Um, and what they said is that they felt that a virus had attacked my pancreas and stopped my body from making insulin. And that's how I became type 2 was their hypothesis because they couldn't figure out with all the tests like what happened and where, but they could
But
tell
yet it
something
wasn't
was wrong.
but yet it wasn't type 1. It didn't whatever it was, it didn't ruin your beta cells. You're still able to make insulin to this day.
Yep, correct.
I mean, it's
So,
something like
yeah,
that. Interesting
yeah,
hypothesis. Yeah.
very. They always told me over the years, through different checkups that, hey, it's possible that, your pancreas could start producing, even more insulin. And there was periods of time where it did, where I
Yeah.
felt that, and I knew I needed to cut back on insulin and stuff because, the readings, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But as I got older, it was less and less. And then fast forward, to last year, um,
2025.
it was around end of September, October.
Yep.
I literally just woke up one day and I did not want to take my medicine anymore. At the time, I was still taking 5 medications.
Hmm.
I was on 2 statins. Um, and I was tired of taking medication. And so I didn't take it. And then the next day, same thing. I didn't take it. Now I knew I couldn't sustain that, but I just was fed up. So I just literally got online and I remember I think I was scrolling through Instagram of all places.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing, even before that, I kept seeing it before, but I never looked at it. This time I looked and it
Yeah.
was like red light therapy. Do you want a different way to lose weight? I
Not
was
even
like,
a diabetic reversal ad, red light
nope,
therapy ad.
yep, yep, not even diabetic. It was red light. I was like, what is it? Because I had heard about red light therapy and some other things, but I didn't know what it was. So I clicked on it and I literally laughed. I was like, this has got to be a gimmick. I was like, there's no way. And then, the offer that was there, I think sessions are regular 250, $79. Get your money back if you don't lose 2 inches.
Yep.
I
Yep.
was like,
That's it.
okay, what do I have to lose? Let's try it. So that's how I found you guys.
I tricked you.
Um, and even, I don't know if you remember, but even when I came in and, we were talking, and obviously, I did the red light therapy and, overall body wise, I lost, over 2 inches, total,
in that
um,
in that first treatment.
in that first treatment.
Yeah.
And then, we had the conversation about nutrition. And then that's when I told you my story and you were
Hmm.
just silent. And I remember you asked me, like, how are you still here with us today?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, but I am. And I'm relatively healthy. Um, and then, through those conversations, you talked about how you could get me off of my medication in less than 2 weeks. And I don't know if you remember this, but I laughed.
I do remember.
And I was like, yeah, right. Because remember, I've been on this stuff for 15 plus years.
15 years. Yeah.
And you're sitting there telling me you can have me off of all of it in less than 2 weeks? Yeah, I was ready to get up and walk out. But I listened and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Um, so that's how I got there. That's how I found you guys, and that's how I started.
Awesome. So I think this would be a perfect time for me to share some of your numbers. Would that be okay? So
That's fine.
yes, you did come in October of 2025. And as you know, I don't care about weight. I care about, cellular health, metabolic age. But you came in October, and yes, you were on 5 different medications, which I guess you had stopped a couple of days before. Lisinopril, metformin, pravastatin, Jardiance, Rybelsus. And yes, we started you on the program. So let me share my screen because I want to kind of look at the metabolic age. Let's see. So here's your initial. Can you see this, David?
Yep, I see it.
Okay. Okay, perfect. This is your initial body composition analysis, which is what we test on everybody. If you're not local on your remote client, we can refer you to the software and the technology that'll basically allow you to test the same things. But what I care about when I look at these, I care about metabolic age. And you can see here, 85 years old metabolically. And that metabolic age is determined by some of these numbers, how much body fat's in your body. But what I really care about is this 15 down here on the bottom, this red visceral fat rating, which is, inflammatory fat. It creates insulin resistance. It's around your liver and your organs. So here you are, a 50-year-old male, 85 years old metabolically or biologically. So everything that I want to do when I work with people is I want to get you younger and healthier inside. So you started our 3-month cellular healing program. You did the program with red light. You can do it with or without. I like it with if people are local because things have a tendency to go faster and we can tighten the skin and have some nice anti-inflammatory and detox effects as well. And then let's see, this was basically at the end of your fat loss reduction phase. So we went from 85 years old and in basically 60 days, which is kind of phenomenal, 57 years old metabolically. I mean, we're talking, almost 30-year reduction in the internal age of your body. I mean, oh my gosh, what is that worth? Anybody listening or watching, what would you pay to be 30 years younger instead inside? And then this was just taken just a few days ago, March 4th, just a few weeks ago, and you are maintaining 57 years old metabolically. You're 50. I'd like to get you a little bit younger. We'll have a separate conversation about that. But I'm thrilled. I mean, your goal was 165, and here you are pretty much maintaining, 160, between 160 and 163, 5 months later. Phenomenal. And here's what I love to see, the visceral fat. It's in the green now instead of being in the red. So now we know your liver's healthier, your organs are healthier. We're not getting that inflammation because that visceral fat actually creates inflammation and attributes towards insulin resistance. And then look at your healthy body water. So that's really cool. So I wanted to share that. And then briefly, you gave me permission to show these. So this is in our red light room. And on the left, we have David's before picture. And on the right, his after. And you can actually see some like definition in the abdominal muscles. It looks like to me like a completely different person. The left, very puffy, very inflamed. This is a lean, healthy guy. And then where's the side view? Pretty
As I
cool.
tell people, I'm working on my 2-pack.
There you go. And then look at the side view. The left before, a lot of visceral fat. And it's like we just just trimmed all that off. So much better, so much healthier. And then the other thing that I wanted to share, I don't know if I still have it up do I still have it up? Yeah. This is your Google review. I don't necessarily want to read the whole thing. It's so powerful, though. And by the way, thank you for this. But right here on day 6, I was off my diabetic medication with my blood sugar levels registering on average in the mornings between 65 and 85. And I looked at all your numbers because you enter them in our BodySide app every day. Your weight's maintaining, your blood sugar's pretty much 100%, 99.9% of the time under 100, which is phenomenal. Off all your diabetic meds, sugar levels between 65, 85. 2 months in the program, weight went from 181 to 160. Hemoglobin A1C, 3-month record, guys, of glucose levels 7.2. Full-blown diabetic down to 5.7. And yes, you're right. If we can get you 5.2 and below, I like 4 something. Now we can basically unequivocally say that you are no longer a diabetic. So thank you for letting me share that. So
And that's
what was it
my,
like? Was it worth it? What was it? Was it
oh
hard?
yeah.
I
So,
mean,
I mean, you just read that, right? So, my doctor that I've been going to for the last about 8 years, who really cared about me, has helped me with my diabetes. And he's challenged me for years. And I didn't tell him that I was doing this program. I just told him that I was doing something. And I kept pushing off my next visit to him because I said, some, I want to surprise you, is what I told him.
oh.
And like you said, I went from in the sevens with my A1C to a 5.7. And when I walked in, he literally gave me a hug. What doctor hugs their patient because of how proud he is of you?
Yeah, that
And
doesn't
he
happen.
literally did that. And he was like, "What have you been doing? Who are you talking to? Who are you working with?" Um, and he wants, and which reminds me, I need to connect him with you,
I
because
would
he wants
love
to talk
to.
to you guys, because he's local, to Lakewood as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was well worth it because I feel it. Not only do you see it, but you feel it,
Yeah.
the difference. Um, was it hard? Yes. But the way that I looked at it was, okay, I'm spending all this money on healthcare every month. All I did was shift that money to being healthy.
There you
That's
go.
how I looked at it. You're
Yeah,
shifting it from one area that's a waste to shifting it to an area that's actually helping you get better
yeah.
and stay better. So yes, it was 100% worth it.
And look at how much money, if you just continued on that same medical minded path, you would have spent or would have continued to spend for the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yep. And as a matter of fact, on that, a lot of us probably, like me, I contribute money to my HSA.
Yeah.
I'm not having to touch most of that now. I actually, I, I
You
was in
gotta
a
do.
fortunate spot just recently that, I had to get a new job. So it allowed me to change my contributions. But I was like, I'm changing, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it because I'm
Yeah.
not spending it the same way. So,
Yeah.
yes, saved a
That's
lot of
that's
money.
very cool.
Yeah.
So what was the most surprising thing?
Uh, the most surprising that I wasn't able to call you a liar.
I remember you're like, uh-huh, yeah, right. You did laugh, and
Oh,
it was like a laugh like, okay, all right, I'll take that challenge.
yep.
I don't
Yep.
believe you,
Yep.
but okay. I
Yep.
remember.
Like I wrote it in my review, I was super skeptical because I mean, you
Yeah,
hear all kinds of stuff out there. You can
yeah,
do this, you can, and I was just like, okay, yeah.
yeah.
Um, but ultimately, I mean, the actual biggest surprise was not having to take my medicine by day 6.
Yeah,
That was the most shocking thing because I never thought that it was going to be possible that quickly.
yeah. But
You said 2 weeks, it was 6 days for me.
that's
So,
awesome.
yep.
Very cool. Well, you motivate me and encourage me and inspire me to continue doing what I'm doing because I know this has been a major shift in your life and a major event in your life, and I'm proud and honored to be a part of that. And where do you see yourself in the next 5, 15, 20 years?
Yep. Happier for one,
Yeah,
right? Because just, overall health, when it's just better and you're not having to worry about things, it's a stress that you no longer have to worry about. So I'm automatically happier. And then, yes, my body's looking nicer, right? And I mean, I literally, every time I'm around new people, nobody thinks I'm 50. I'm actually about to turn 51 in May.
yeah, you do not look 50.
Like, I fool everybody. Um, so I mean, yeah, I'm gonna maintain for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a lifestyle. Once you get used to it, it's not hard. It's just for me now, you maintain, but you start to learn the balance of
Yeah,
how foods affect you and things of that nature. Now am I gonna stay hardcore where I'm doing, that 90-day type of program for 7 days a week? No.
no,
But have I incorporated a lot of healthy foods and a lot of healthy ways of cooking now? 100%. And now even my daughter wants to do it. She's 14, but she's like, she plays volleyball. She's a singer as well. And she's like, okay, maybe I need to do something different too. And she said that at age 14. So,
Wow.
yeah. So I'm
You're an
looking forward
example.
to the next few
Yeah.
years.
You're an example for her, and you're planting seeds for her and the rest of her life and her adult life because she won't forget those things.
Right.
Yeah. Very cool. Any last thoughts? Anything, if somebody maybe is watching this or listening to this and, they're thinking about taking a risk, what would you say to them?
I would say 100% take the risk. At a minimum, just have the conversation.
Yeah.
Or at a minimum, watch your videos, sign up
Hmm.
for that. Because
Yeah.
it's all about education.
Yeah.
That's literally all that it is.
Yeah.
Um, and if you don't think you can't, if you think you can't do it, you can. Because if I can, then you can.
Yeah.
Um, but if you really are tired of taking medicine, if you're really tired of, not being able to do some of the things you used to be able to do, even if you're 50 or older, like it can happen.
Yeah.
So just do it, try it.
Awesome. I love it.
And if you have questions, call me.
Okay, I'll give everybody your number.
Because if there's one thing that everybody knows around me, my customers know, my friends know, my family know, I don't sugarcoat the truth.
Yeah.
I tell it like it is.
Yeah, you're definitely very down to earth and a straight shooter. I like that. No games.
Well,
Awesome. David, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, and I know the people listening are going to appreciate it as well. And I know that you sharing your story is going to touch other people's lives, and that's what we're here for, right? Just to love each other, support each other, and pay it forward. And you've done that today, and I just want to thank you for that.
you're very welcome. And thank you for helping me.
Absolutely. Anytime. Have an amazing rest of your day, and thank you again.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye, David.
Bye bye.